Welcome to the Biz4Good Show with your hosts Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. The Biz4Good podcast is a fun and adventurous series that dives into the world of business, nonprofit, and startups, making a difference in the world for good. Get ready for another episode. Hey, cue that sick intro.
Introducing Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. Biz for Good.
Welcome to episode...
Yeah, you're one of these days we will get the intro right.
Dang numbit. Welcome to episode 22 of the Biz4Good Show podcast. We have EFL360 Roundtable today. So once a month we sit down with some powerful and amazing entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders from the EFL360. And this is a chance to learn helpful tips, powerful messages that can monetize and take your vision and company to the next level. Today in studio we have the...
Ryan Pilkington and Bobby Glenn James.
We did that totally backwards.
I know. I thought I like to change things up. We like to throw things up a little bit.
And then we have Jay
The Jay Taylor and the Kevin Taylor. No relations. Somewhat. Identical twins. Beautiful.
So we want to welcome you to the show. Give us some likes. All those flashy things.
Flashy things.
That's what I call them.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's what I call them.
Yes.
So we'll start off with Biz4G Studio news, followed by some segments, and then we'll get into the roundtable portion.
Ooh, and what are we going to talk about today, gentlemen?
Well, let's get through
I heard
the
there was
segments
going to be
first.
food.
You thought there was going to be...
I thought we were eating.
It's right here. It's a protein. See, this is a protein drink. It's perfect food. It's the perfect food.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. I thought this was Biz Munchers.
Munchers. Oh, that's awesome.
Should we bring that up now, or should we wait until after segments to say?
segment.
Ooh,
Yeah, that
all
one's
right.
a teaser.
Yeah,
Teaser.
shameless plug. Biz
Yep.
Munchers.
Teaser.
Yeah. We got a lot of going on, people. So we're going to go into the B4G Studio news, and we're going to turn it over to Bobby on the Cassie and the painting story.
Yes, the Cassie Swirls. It is so cool. Her mom, Linda, has been working with us really well. We do have her slated for the show in August.
Woo.
Isn't that right, Sky? It's August, correct? She's
She's nodding her head, yes.
She's our magical person that mutes herself. Yeah, so yeah, that's correct. There it is. She is on her August 3rd. They will be on the show August 3rd.
Put that in your calendars.
Yeah, put that on your calendar. The painting is on the way.
Man.
You know what? I should have thought about it, and we should have looked up the tracking so we could see where it's at. It could be, on a boat from
Coming
Australia.
from Australia.
Right? Yeah, it's coming from
I was
Australia.
watching Australian morning news. She was on the morning news over there, like our local morning shows. Mm-hmm. It was really special.
Cute little kid. It's going to be fun. Her mom's going to be great. They're doing some really, really powerful things. We donated double to the painting and donated it to a charity there, hospice for kids. It's a super powerful charity where parents have their children with
Terminal illness.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That's hard to. Yeah, I mean, it's just a powerful need and a beautiful thing they're doing there. So, we're excited to have them on the show. We're super excited to get the painting. And those of you that've seen it on Facebook, it's super.
Beautiful.
The kid is just amazing. We're excited.
Yeah, have you mentioned recently to follow you on Facebook? Because that really is fun to see that stuff show up.
It is. Yeah, we do. People get on Facebook, like us. We put everything on there that's on the show that's going on, and sky's the limit. I mean, Ryan, there's a bunch of my best peeps are here. My best peeps are here. So you're going to talk about how we've bumped up in listenership, doubled in this last month, and we're excited about the future and just getting it all over people that there's a lot of good being done in the world.
Yeah, we're doing a movement here. I mean, it's really, really cool to be part of. So we go by the hashtag Be Good Do Good if you're new to the show.
Hashtag
Be good, do good.
So yeah, we've jumped literally like almost double in listenership. So we appreciate our fans out there that are listening or downloading, and we just want to thank those people. And then you can go to Biz4GoodShow.com as well.
Biz for should. Biz4GoodShow.com.
Biz should do good.
Yeah, Biz should do good. That should be a sister branch. Biz should do good.
I thought we left our inability to speak in last week's show when we brought Ryan back.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's the beauty of the show.
Are we going to Twitter today?
And
Instagram.
Never mind.
We're not even going to go further.
Whoops.
No editing on this show. So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we're live?
All right, we're going into segments, everybody. The first segment is Biz Hack.
Biz Hack.
This Biz Hack comes from.
Oh, you need some sound effects for that. The
I
Biz
can't
Hack.
do.
You can't do the two. You can't do two things.
Oh wait, no,
Oh, that
that's a
was
biz
pretty-
cut.
That was pretty good. I was like,
Wow.
how did you?
What?
I didn't
How'd
even
you-
see his hand
Yeah,
touch
hello.
the thing. You should be one of those beatboxer guys. That was awesome, Kevin. You're just many talents.
We're just hacking down that tree. All right, let's get to our
Okay,
biz
here we
hack.
go.
Biz Hack.
Today's Biz Hack.
Biz Hack is brought to you by Inc.com, the Warren Buffett and Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. I've heard of him. He's
Who?
Yeah,
They're having a buffet today?
A buffet.
There's going to be food.
Warren Buffet. That's the French version. Warren Buffet.
We have we're
This show is unraveled, Ryan.
Yeah,
It is
hey,
your
hey,
job
bring
to
it back
keep us on
together.
track.
Here we
What
go.
happened?
I don't know. I can't.
It's
I can't
my
do
fault.
it.
I'm sorry.
What did Warren say?
All right, so he tells us that mastering the art of public speaking is the single greatest skill to boost your career. For small business owners, enhancing your public speaking skills could go a long way towards building communication with your customers, partners, and prospective investors. You might be thinking, that's great, but I have a fear of public speaking. That's okay, Buffett says, because when I was young, as a young stock advisor, he took Dale Carnegie's public speaking course to overcome his fear. It is a little known fact that Buffett dropped out of the course on his first try.
Wow. You know, it's so important. I tell people all the time, you can go to a networking meeting, you can give somebody a card, and that's your impact. You know, hey, here's my business card, let's meet up. Or you can be in front of that networking meeting presenting something, and then everybody wants to give you their card. Everybody wants to connect with you. It is such a powerful thing to learn how to speak, which brings us right into one of our sponsors, Speak Up Professional Speaker Studio. We train entrepreneurs all the time. You should be in front of the crowd. If you really want to make a difference, if you want to bring your marketing to the next level, be a speaker and learn how to be a speaker. You can't just get up in front of people and make an impact despite what people think.
And I've read other things that Warren Buffett has said about it, and he's talking not just about delivering, throwing up on people, but communicating. And that's just it, too.
Yeah.
It's so important that we look at the word communicate and look at it as a dialogue, not a monologue. Because a
Absolutely.
monologue's not going to get us anywhere. It's
So
about communicating effectively that brand message, whatever it might be. And I think that's a really critical thing. When we talk about speaker, it feels like a one-sided thing. It's unilateral, but there's got to be the listening.
And you know, I think that when you talk about that, it brings us to another point that crosses my mind, which is you own your business message. The question is it good or not? Do you own it well or not? And I think, yeah, like Mr. Buffett says, I think he warrants a Mr. Buffett there.
Oh, absolutely.
When I am as rich as he is, I will, personally call him Warren. But
Until then,
like Mr. Buffett says. Oh, great!
What
Now
does
I
he
want to
say?
confuse him with the singer too. I'm going to come back to this thought. I'm going to finish this.
what about Margaritaville?
Margaritaville,
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett.
Wasting away again.
It's
Yeah.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, you've got to learn to present that message, just like I failed abysmally to do. You've got to learn to present that message, to get out there, to talk with people.
Make an impact.
Yeah, and if you're afraid, you're not going anywhere.
But I like what Kevin just said, and I know we're on segment still, Ryan, but you are the one, and we all own our business message. It's us. And the delivery, the content, and whether we listen, whether it's effectively exchanged, that's up to us. So we need to really take ownership of our messaging and look at it from that standpoint. I like that. Own your message.
Absolutely. I love it.
So I put that on the Facebook Booker. For that,
He's
if you
Facebooked
want
it
to
up.
read
The
complete
Facebook group.
article,
Go to Facebook/Biz4GoodShow.
all right.
I just like talking into the mic like that. Sorry.
Should I do that now, Bobby, or can you do that later?
do the whisper.
I'll just go to the Facebook now and take a
just
look.
go to that right now.
Yeah, right now, going.
Of course, if you're watching live, you're already there.
Wow.
Ooh, that could be a country western song.
If you're watching live, you're
Oh my
already
gosh,
there.
Brian, we have lost all control.
We're going to go right into the good news.
The good news.
And this is called Racing Cancer to the Finish Line. A triathlete, Raymond Howe, shares with us on facing suicide, pushing his limits, and carrying a legacy to the very end. I read over this article in today's preparation. Basically, he was bullied, and then he rides, and he was inspired by the amazing Armstrong before he knew about all that other stuff that Armstrong was
unfortunately,
involved with, but still
He
was an
a
inspiration.
Huge inspiration to so many.
So basically, Armstrong's foundation raising money for charity through sports. Raymond was determined as a youngest brother whom he used to mock for activities supporting charities. The brother died of cancer at age 19, and now Raymond wanted to carry his legacy. That is also on our Facebook. So read about that. People doing good. And the quote of the day: life will only change when you become more committed to your dreams than you are to your comfort zone.
Ooh, I like that one.
I do so like my comfort zone.
I'm going to stay comfortable and think about it. Let you know.
Throw that comfort zone out the window and make a change.
So yeah,
Nothing better than getting those crappy, weird feelings in the belly that tells you to get up and do something and go talk to somebody. And
that's how I feel.
What about, Bobby, and invite you, what about a mindset where you're comfortable with change? What if change doesn't have to be uncomfortable?
There you go.
I think there's too much emphasis placed on this get out of your comfort zone stuff from a standpoint of do something once a day that scares you or something like that. Why be scared?
How about
Why
get
be uncomfortable?
excited?
Maybe
How
that.
about
What
get
about
excited?
what about reframing it? Or what about being more comfortable with change so that change isn't so radical? Because change is inevitable, right? What do they say? The only thing that's for surely going to stay the same?
Change.
it's change. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that
Once again, Jay has brought in the Jayness.
Da, da, da. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, let's get excited about change. Let's say, sign me up. Let's move. Let's go forward. Let's look at it as this wonderful positive thing. And I talk about that all the time with bad stuff that happens in our life.
Sure.
Why not have gratitude for what it's made me?
and it's difficult, admittedly, right? That change can be difficult. But if we're always putting a negative spin on it, or that it's something over there, not here, I don't know. Let's close the gap.
I love it. I love it. What Ryan's
Ryan's
texting.
taking calls.
You guys can see
Yeah.
Ryan is texting.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's
inevitable
Linda.
that
It's Linda. Hey, where's lunch?
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
There's going to be
We're gonna go into the
Food?
segment with EFL360. I don't know what the sound effects are gonna do, so let's do it.
That reminds me of Planet of the Apes for some reason. I'm not sure why.
We are not apes, people.
Are you sure it wasn't like an Ewok sound?
Yeah, I was thinking Star Wars. That's where I went.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
one of the Star Wars episodes.
Got it. Awesome. Well,
Turn it over to you, Bobby.
okay.
You're running the
EFL
ship now. I'm out.
EFL360 Founders Roundtable. What really works for you?
What matters most?
What matters most? I knew it was that what matters most to you. So this month, all month long at EFL 360, we have been talking about what matters most to you. What matters most to you? And today we're going to be talking about the insights that we've learned, the things that we went over, and let's turn it over to you two guys. Kind of give us a handful of what did we learn this month?
Well, everybody's
Kevin.
going to look at me.
Yeah.
Certainly a good
The
thing I went
handsome
back
one.
and reviewed some of our notes, isn't it? So I was looking back over, I mean, just high level. I mean, we started out talking about the values and what values mean to your business, why they're important, why customers are going to care about your values. We looked at different tools or different ways that you can implement what's important to you. We talked about getting your message out, which is why we were all so ready when Ryan brought that up. I think it was a perfect quote. with
Yeah.
what we talked about last
Yeah.
week with, hey, you've got to own that message, and
With all the noise out there,
Yeah.
it's gotta be something worth listening to.
and how we make what matters most to us matter most to potential customers, to people who need to know why that's important, why we care. And I think we could jump in at any one of those points, but I think high level, that's what we've looked at. Is there's a lot that can matter as a company. I think if we start with the values, I think it was a really interesting discussion because we were more focused, I think, on personal values for a business owner during that discussion than we were on, what is your business value? But it ended up becoming something. We ended up talking about, where do you shop and why? What are the values that those places represent to you?
And they truly should be one and the same almost.
That's the point. If
Yeah.
they're inconsistent, right?
Exactly.
If your personal
If your
values and
business
business
is this,
values are
and you're-
inconsistent.
Yeah. And I think that was the big push that I remember, Jay, when you're up there talking about it. That interesting. Everybody has this thought philosophy, and then people are throwing out the businesses like. And I've even heard people say, "Well, this is business." Oh my gosh, there's nothing worse.
Well,
than
wasn't
hearing,
there
this is business?
Wasn't there a show where the phrase was made very popular by someone we might have heard of, where they said, "It's not personal, it's just business."
Yeah.
Actually, there are two shows. One was the Lego Movie, my kids will relate to, but it was based on the character that was parodied there, which was from The Apprentice,
Yeah,
where that was one of the.
that guy.
I mean, right behind "You're Fired," I think that was one of the most famous lines from that show. Where our now president would talk about how, you know what, you're a great person, I love you, but you're out of here.
And so, we look at somebody that I know Bobby and I like, Don Miguel Ruiz, and we talk about not taking things personally. But I think that's completely
Four
different
agreements.
than what Kevin is talking about from the standpoint of our personal values, our personal vision informs our business decisions. It informs our business policies. So the personal or core values of the stakeholders, the investors, the influencers, the management, the leadership are going to play out. And if one's individual core values are inconsistent with those that the business promotes, there's going to be a disparity, there's going to be a disconnect, ultimately leading to dissatisfaction. And dissatisfaction is going to lead to a demise in the business. It's going to show up in sales, it's going to show up somewhere.
Yeah.
I think Linda's now calling you about
No,
lunch.
it was me.
Okay.
It was my phone.
Taking
Somebody
a
was
couple,
calling me.
taking a call. And so I think that's important. And I think the other thing, and Kevin, I think you started us off on the right foot today. It's about ownership. It's about taking control and owning our vision, our core values, our messaging, whatever it may be. Because if I don't own it and hold it and manage it about what matters most, then I'm allowing others to do so.
Yeah.
And you're then at the mercy of a customer, of a review, of someone else, the market, whoever else
Market
it may
conditions.
be, will start to
And there's
define
no-
who and what
and
you
there's
are.
no culture. There's no culture set. There's no there's no leader. There's no one to look to create something. I mean, you're never going to be ultimately, truly super successful by trying to keep up with everything else that's out there.
And I think
And
you
not
said
being
it
true to yourself.
just a minute ago, Bobby. Right now, it's the loudest voice. I mean, potentially, that's the other thing, is you're going to pay attention to the loudest noise. And noise, just like activity, doesn't necessarily equal productivity. Just because you're busy, just because one campaign something is loud or one message is very sexy, doesn't mean it's productive. It doesn't mean it's applicable. So I think that the two big things coming away from this month about what matters most to you is that we own it, whatever our message is, whatever our values are, whatever our brand is, and that it plays into something that EFL will really explore and spend a lot of time in over the years to come. That's part of our EFL deck, which is about control. And how important control is. And we hear about don't control and let things happen and let things manifest, and that's different. We're talking about within a business. We're talking about controlling the culture. In other words, we can use as influencing it, nurturing it, inviting it, taking care of it, maintaining it, all right, sustaining it.
Yeah. Why was what matters most to you? Why do you think that matters to business owners? What matters most to you? What I mean, that's a really simple question, and it's like, of course, money matters.
Yeah.
My business doesn't work unless I'm making revenue. why is that important? What matters most? Why should they be thinking about that?
I think a lot of times people don't, and I think that's part of the problem. And I know we so often are saying we can't say what's right and wrong, we can only say what is, as we look at business, as we look at the world, and yet we are trying to change and create things that are new and different. I think a lot of times business owners don't really stop and think about what's most important. They don't try and control it or define it or put out to the world their deeper values because they're afraid. And they think, if I do this, I'm going to alienate. Let's go look back at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They made a stand for something that their owners thought was important that really could have alienated and did alienate a lot of potential customers, created a huge uproar nationwide. And yet it was one of the values they stood for, that they wanted to be there and support. I believe the question ended up coming down to, we support families in this definition. And they said, this is our value. This is what we stand for, which to a core market who agreed with them was a great stance. To others
who didn't agree was different, but they were so committed to those core values that they publicly went, if we have to close the doors of the largest retail hobby craft goods store in the United States, we will, because it's that important. And subsequently they've stood on other values, for example, on what days of the week they want to operate and such like that. But Hobby Lobby has continued to show growth, both in sales and activity.
Which is a big thing. If you're trying to connect with everybody and make everybody happy and want everybody to be, that's a recipe for failure. But if you stay true to yourself, if you live in your cult, if you live in who you are and what your business stands for, then if you have 10% of a segment that loves that wants to be a part of that, that has much more value than a 50% of the that kind of thinks it's okay.
And then you grow that segment. You're focused instead of trying to be everywhere, right? And you have 10%, then you can focus on that. And I know it's overused right now, but your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And do that. Bobby, the thing that comes up, and I just love what Kevin said, but about why it's important, is because if most people start their business, become entrepreneurs, have an idea, become an independent contractor, venture out because something moves them. They feel called to do something. I want to do it better. I want to do more. I want to reach this audience. I want to raise awareness, or whatever it might be. But if I, for example, think, I want a higher quality good. That's just what I want. I want something that's just higher quality. I'm tired of this particular product breaking every time I get it. I go into business, I enter the market, and all of a sudden I let the market dictate that I'm based on not quality, but pricing, then I'm not in control. Yeah. Right? And then, so what mattered most to me initially was quality. Or in your example, what mattered most was connecting with my tribe. But then I get out and I let the factors of the marketplace dictate or influence me, like, yeah, we'll cut quality here, we'll cut corners there, because we're just about price now.
Yeah.
So what matters most? If we don't know what matters most, I mean, to a certain extent, we have to know where we are in order to get where we want to go.
That's so many people don't get that. They don't know where they're at.
Sure.
It's not rocket science, but it's super simple. But why the crap don't we do it?
I think sometimes we don't know. I mean, people don't stop and think about it.
That it matters?
They don't know what maybe their values really are. I mean, how often do we really stop and look at, this is really what matters to me? And how often is it just, I'm starting this, I'm doing it, I'm going, and we get buried in the weeds, and we lose sight of it.
And in today, I don't think in a lot of the small business training and entrepreneurship training and all of the different things that are out there, I don't think a lot of them are paying attention to core values. It's just, here, sign up, here's our process, implement it. And I think that's a challenge. I think we need to pay attention to that.
And the great stories of the great companies were built on that.
Right.
I go back to Phil Knight with Shoe Dog and Nike. I mean, that philosophy of just doing it, and that's what they did. They just did it.
Literally.
They just kept doing it. And at every turn, they were going to fail, and they should have failed. And everybody was telling them, dude, go back to being an accountant. But, yeah.
I think when you find out what your why is, then you can lead to what matters most to you, right?
Because your why is what matters most.
It
Your
is.
why will lead you to your house.
Absolutely.
In
So why
perfect,
don't people
Ryan.
ask their why?
Because for me, throughout my customer service training, you know, it was always let's get to the business and train and do this and yada. The first week, we talked about the why, and we were doing sales, and we needed to know why we're selling this, and so she played the video of Cynic and the why, and the people in my class, you know, I was like eating this up because I was doing entrepreneur stuff, but everyone else was the first time seeing that, and it was really fun to see their like light bulbs going like, hey, I can do, wait a minute, there's a, wait a minute. You can see a wait a minute moment.
Wait a minute moment.
You know, where they got it more than just for the company we were working for, but like, why am I here at the company? Why am I doing this? You know, kind of thing. So I thought it was a really cool moment.
Yeah, that is cool. That's cool.
And you know, I think that's one of the challenges. One reason that the why and the values fall apart is owners don't get it sent down. That you have this great why in the C-suite. And everybody in the C-suite knows it. Then you get down to your middle managers, and all they know is, I got to meet this profit target.
Yeah.
And all the people on the front line know is, I got to get these people turned around on my customer service call list in under 2 minutes, or I got to get the to-go orders in under a minute. By the way, if you ever want to see a fast food manager have just a complete conniption fit, 5 minutes for a customer to drive in, or a drive-up window at a fast food place, I think the man was going to blow a gasket. It was insane. Because at that level, what is important?
Speed.
1 minute at the drive-up. You know, if they show up at that drive-through window and it's more than a minute, you're in trouble. But it was Derek Sivers. I finally remembered his name. CD Baby Guy.
Oh, yeah, CD Baby Guy.
So CD Baby, I don't even know if they're still doing much anymore because it was...
They do.
They do? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Yeah, I saw a local band or something that was saying you can get our stuff at CD Baby.
So it's independent artist distribution. So giving them basically a place to go if they don't have a big label. But there was a point in the growth of the company where every question was coming to him. Everything was his. And he finally had enough and determined this needs to change. And so when the next question came, he gathered his team around him and said, all right, here's the question. Let me start. First and foremost, we do this to support the artist. Now, here's the question, and here's how we're going to answer it based on that. And for the next several, I think it went on for a few months, whenever one of these questions came up, he gathered the team and he started out, first and foremost, we are here for the artist. Here's the question, and therefore, this is how we're going to answer it. And I think if you take an approach like that, what was their value? They supported indie artists, independent musicians.
Period.
That is why they existed. It wasn't to make an extra buck. It was to support these people and get their music out in the world.
Of course, he did just sell that for $27 million, but
well, see,
But it was
it
engaged
worked.
in
but it
something
was
good,
because
right?
of, it was because of his core value.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And to be fair, I think he took that $27 million into a trust or something, and he didn't even. That's a great story.
Yeah.
He wrote a great book too.
Yeah, it was. That was Poke the Box, wasn't it?
No.
No.
It was How to Do Anything or Do Any.
Oh shoot, I read
Derek
two,
Sivers.
Derek
Check it out.
Sivers, yeah.
Look him
I
up.
read
He's
two
an
books
author.
at the same time. He wrote one of them. I now get him confused for the rest of my life. But you know, I think that's where people lose their values. Is it doesn't trickle down.
So let's give some takeaways then here, and give me the time we have remaining a little bit with respect to this subject. So one of the things that Kevin just brought
got
out
3 minutes.
is to be able to communicate if the values are led by the leaders, if what matters most is the management, the leadership, the stakeholders, the owners of a company, the message gets to be communicated internally first. Communicate your message. How can we expect our tribe to understand what we're doing if we haven't communicated what matters most to us? I think that's a really important one. Another thing to look at, and Ryan brought this up, is if you're wondering about what matters most, go to your why. You know, ask, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Whatever the business activity, why am I tracking sales this way? Why am I working this late? Why are our hours this way? It can be operational, it can be accounting, it can be internal. And look to that why and see if it serves a purpose.
Have a heart-to-heart with that why.
Have a heart-to-heart with that why.
Is it really just because you want to make some money, or is it because you want to change the world? I mean, have a heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah. Or am I just doing it because that's the way it was taught and I don't know the why?
Well, I go on and there's a lot of tutorials on, you can make this money. I've done it. Just reproduce. Just do what I do, and you'll make it. You'll just we roll it, and they got their Ferraris, and I'm like, oh, all I have to do is listen to this guy for 30 minutes, and I'm gonna bring a Ferrari.
Well, then you have to pay him the
Well,
$2,500 for that
yeah,
next thing. But
Yeah. So in there,
then you can drive the
They
Ferrari.
go, well, you need to find out what your product's gonna be, and then they kind of hit it where your why is, like why you want to do it, but not really. So,
But inevitably, it
but
all
inevitably,
takes work.
that ship's not going to float if you're just doing it for this quick fix. So I'm going to get this Ferrari.
Or somebody else's why.
Yeah.
Because your why might not drive me. And again, maybe a final takeaway on what matters most is identifying that so that you're spending your time, your efforts, and your resources on what matters most. If I'm just listening to the seminar pitches, if I'm just listening to the life hacks, if my guru is a B2B person and I'm in a B2C market, or I'm listening to some that applies to product and manufacturing and warehousing, but I'm a dentist, I'm not going to be focusing on what matters most to me.
Right.
So, that's it. It's personalizing it. It's getting down. It's having the heart-to-heart. It's having the ownership. As Kevin mentioned, it's taking a look at the why, but about what matters for my organization, my program, my business, what I'm advocating for. That's what we have to do. Learn, look, listen, observe, wherever you want to, but it's got to be about what matters most. And right now I need sales. No, right now I need more people. Right now I need more inventory. Right now I need capital. What matters most to you now? That's where the focus has got to be, and we have to take control of that.
And sometimes it's hard to do that when
Yes.
you're in the
Working
working in
You're
your
in the
business.
trench.
When you're in the trenches, you're
Yep.
I have entrepreneurs talk about it all the time. Man, I'm just trying to keep afloat, and keeping afloat is not going to grow. You're not going to move forward by keeping afloat.
At some point, you got to stop swinging that axe, swinging that shovel, and figure out why you're doing it in the first place. All right, Ryan, you had your hand up.
Yeah,
And
it's
you-
time to kind of wrap it up.
All
We're
right.
going to go into teasers.
All right, I was going to say, we barely touched basically our
Oh.
first week this month from our EFL 360
Terrible.
weeklies. We didn't even get, you touched Consider the Source from another week. We didn't get to how to make your message matter to the people that you need it to. There was a lot of stuff that we got into with just this one idea. So,
EFL360.com.
yes, indeed.
Check it out.
Go to the Facebook page
Go
and look
to
at the
Facebook.
videos.
Yeah, look at the videos.
Or, hey, you can even go to Twitter or Instagram for that, too.
yeah.
I'm going to stick with that as long as I'm on this show.
We should
Did
create
you
it.
want to mention any teaser? Biz Muncher.
Biz
all
Munchers.
Yeah.
There's going to be food.
There
Good,
is
that's the
going to
whole
be
purpose of
food.
Jay
being
will
here.
get his wish.
When's our next Biz Munchers? Is it next Friday?
It's the 27th.
It's the 27th.
Is that right?
That's too far away.
No,
We gotta
next
have
Friday we have one. We have twice a month.
twice a month.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do that, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next
I-
Friday.
Is that the 12th?
Yeah.
it?
No.
No, I'm terrible.
It's like the 6th of July, I think. You would think
6th,
that
7th.
for something we're trying to tease that we would know what we're talking about here. And it's interesting. We get mad at entrepreneurs for trying to pitch something and missing the details. And
Yeah.
here we are
Yeah.
trying to pitch
Hey.
something and missing the details. Just goes to show nobody's perfect. We're all learning together.
Yep.
And when we get upset with people, it's because we realize it's a problem you got to deal with.
Well,
Kevin's
thi-
getting the date, but it's next Friday.
Next Friday, we're doing, you can join us.
11:30 to 1, right? Or
We
as
have
long
a
as you can do it.
Facebook.com/Biz Munchers, BIZMUNCHERS.
Biz Munchers.
And we just get together and just visit. Biz Munchers is open to everyone. It's about having lunch together, breaking bread, and visiting. So what's the date then next Friday?
So that is July 7th. I think I just heard Sky chime that in for us to make sure we didn't get too lost.
Oh, we
Thank
need
you,
to put
Sky.
you in the mixer,
Yeah.
Sky.
Yeah.
We're going to put you in the mixer soon.
And we're going to be back at the same place.
Joy Luck?
Joy Luck.
Joy
Yeah,
Luck.
I
All
love
right.
it, man.
Great
Can't
stuff.
eat too much Chinese for me. That's a great restaurant.
And if we have time for one more teaser,
Yeah, you can go for
next
it.
month on this show, the EFL 360 Founders Roundtable, we're going to be talking about how EFL is rolling out and our programs that will be beginning midsummer. We've got some incredible things happening in the month of July and August. It's 61 days to marketing life. Come join us every Thursday afternoon. Pitch 360. Our first one is today. We've got another huge one in August, and we've got some big announcements.
Fun stuff coming.
Yeah, big announcements.
Can we tease on the concert?
Ooh, yes.
Can we do a quick tease on the concert?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if Ryan is here,
Ryan.
that should be teased all the time.
Yeah, Ryan, tease
Go.
us a little bit with what's going on.
So Advocatees is a company that I created, and we're going to be doing a concert. It's an apparel company, but we do events. I really feel that getting out to the masses on
We're
a more
gonna rock
personal
it
level,
hard.
Yeah.
and with music, it has a great influence on our society, and just do a lot of good. So September 9th, we are slating for a concert for the Advocatees concert series.
Back to school. Back to school concert.
Back to
concert.
school.
We're gonna have some
Be
great
supporting
bands.
anti-bullying, suicide awareness, mental health awareness, and
It's mental illness too.
mental
Now,
illness.
is Mick Jagger still planning on being there?
Last I heard,
I know David Bowie was
No.
going to, but he passed away, so that's a.
So at least
that
with,
wasn't gonna happen.
with Mick. I'm trying to get Bono to return a phone
Oh,
call.
there you go.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good for that.
Can I just point out, Ryan just did this right. He knows the date. He knows what's going on.
Yes.
We should all learn a lesson from Ryan.
September 9th. The Advocatees concert series. Back to school
September 9th.
concert.
And details to come, a place to be.
You
It's
can
gonna
go,
be. It's
Be all
gonna be a
afternoon
blast.
that day. Food trucks, booths.
Yeah.
Hang out, bring the family,
have some-
enjoy a lot of local talent. It'll be here in the Salt Lake Valley.
And get some real positive energy around the whole message.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Advocates.
excited.
Social change, baby.
Be good, do good.
Be good, do good.
Yeah,
Hashtag-
rewrite the headlines.
Yeah,
Rewrite the headlines.
Rewrite the headlines.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, guys, this has been a blast. Yeah, I can't think of my more favorite people to hang out with and be crazy on the show. Thank you, all of you. And hashtag.
Be good, do good.
Hashtag.
Be good, do good.
Hashtag.
Be good, do good.